Subtle. So here I got a new light too. Let's see. It's blown out. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. It's the Hotline Show. Today is June 22nd, 2025. What was I doing out there? I was cleaning up the woods. A branch fell down. Things. There's always stuff. And I remember a while back, I think Pete called. He asked, do I ever alter the landscape? Yeah. Sometimes my compositions are good, and then something happens and I gotta fix it. And it's good. It's good exercise. We get out there, we learn about nature, power tools, so many good power tools. Ego sends me power tools. In fact, they sent me a pressure washer, and I was out washing my car. What a great little unit this is. I used to have like a gas-powered one. It was so loud. It was annoying. It was heavy. This thing is just, it's like plug and play. It's so easy. I just wash my car all the time now. It's so good. Well, if you don't know how it works, this is the Hotline Show. People call the number. It's in the description below. They leave a message. They ask a question. Usually it's about photography. But it can be about anything, like how often you mow your lawn. Oh, I was at my dad's house last week. He's moving, and I had given him this framed picture drawing of Homer Simpson that the Simpsons sent to me after they did a parody of my everyday video. And, I just sort of gave it to him like indefinite loan. It was in his office. I took it off the wall and I noticed on the back, it's a sealed envelope. And I don't know what's in this. And I must have given it to the framer and said, put this in an envelope and put it on the back. And I don't know what is in here. I kind of can see it's like some handwriting. Should I open that? Let me know in the comments if we should open the sealed envelope, or just let it be forever, and then one day someone will wonder and open it, and then they'll be like, wow. And then they'll just move on with their life. Speaking of my dad, he called the hotline. He's got something to say. Let's hear it right now. Dad, what's up?
Hey, Noah, it's Dad. I'm calling to invite everybody to participate in the Dr. Ike Show, which will be presented a week from this Sunday. On the Dr. Ike Show, we discuss people's personal issues related to a topic that I present, and also ask people to call in with their favorite music that has to do with the topic that we're talking about. For example, next week we're going to be talking about heartache, songs that have to do with heartache, and also your own personal experience with heartache, usually based on loss of a close person in your life, loss of a loving pet, loss of an important job, any issue related to loss. So it's going to be heartache and loss and the music that got you through those difficult times. Okay? Speak to you soon. Bye.
Very cool, Dad. Thank you. So my dad is going to do a show here on the Hotline Show. We're going to put it in next week. He's going to come up. We're going to record this, the Dr. Ike Show, where he's going to take a call from you. Call in, question about heartbreak, a story about that, and a song that you would listen to get you through that moment in your life. Could be a lot of fun. Let's try it out. Love to hear from you. Send in the questions and the song that helped you, and we'll do it, the Dr. Ike Show next week instead of the Hotline Show. And if it's successful, we'll figure out a way to get it in. We'll do a little of both. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Dad. Listeners, let's do it. We're going to get into it. We got Stuart.
Hey Noah, Stuart from Melbourne, Australia. Question for you. Do you think that beauty in the bucolic sense has become more democratized with the abundance of devices that are capable of capturing said beauty? Museums and galleries is another thought. In Australia, a museum and a gallery are two very distinct and different things, operating in different ways. And yet I often feel like there's some overlap when I hear people from the United States of America talk about these two institutions. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Stuart from Melbourne, great to hear from you again. Thank you so much. And we got a package from you a couple weeks ago. Thanks for sending a couple of photo book zines, or just photo zines. Some of these are really great. I was flipping through it. This one called What's the Ugliest Part of Your Body? Steps and Ladders, another one. This one's really cool. It looks like pictures through abandoned storefront windows. Really cool. I actually had a friend who did a similar project like that in New York City a couple of years ago. Gestural. Really nice. I mean, come on. We all need to do this. Everyone should put out one thing a year. I was thinking about this a lot lately because I've been trying to work on a book and I'm just getting stuck and hung up, and it's like 3 years now and it's feeling too late. Like I just waited too long and the work just feels like it existed years ago, and now putting it out now just doesn't feel right. It doesn't work like it works in the time that it's being made. Going back and putting it together, I mean, with the exception of like maybe a retrospective or something, or like a long-term documentary project, just hard to put together old work and release it. You know, I made work 10 years ago. I'm going to put it out now. It's like should have been out 10 years ago. So I feel like no matter what, don't get stuck. Just force yourself, put it out. It's never going to be good. It's never going to be perfect. You don't like it now. I'm telling you, in 5 years, you'd be like, well, would have done this a little better, but this makes sense. This looks like it's from 2008, 2009. Yeah. And that's why this is actually good now. We've got, in the curve of photographic interestingness, it's gotten better with age. Regarding your questions and is beauty more democratized? I guess I feel like with all the photos and images we see, everything's just diluted. I mean, yeah, it's good that more people have access to tools that you can make things and be creative. Of course, that's amazing. But now, because of that, everything feels kind of dull, like we've seen everything, at least to me. It's hard to just see something that really just shakes me up, inspires me, because like, what's new? What's special? So yeah, that's my thing is images and the proliferation of them. It just has diluted the specialness, the magic of photography. All feels like it's gone. The museum and galleries things, I don't know. I mean, it's possible you were hearing Americans saying something wrong and stupid, like that's what we're known for. But I think our definitions of what a museum and a gallery is, it's the same. I mean, it is. Museums are institutions, right? Like they're funded by either the government or donors, and there's a board usually that collects the work, puts them in the permanent collection, and oftentimes it's historic. It's people who've studied the work and find its place in time, and it's intended to last forever as part of the collection. Within a museum, there might be galleries. So there's a gallery in a museum. Maybe a show is happening in a particular gallery. But in the more commercial art sense, like galleries are like commercial endeavors where art is shown to sell to people. You don't buy work in a museum. You buy work in a gallery. It's universal, right? I mean, I don't know who's getting that wrong, but it's possible. I mean, anything's possible now. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about everything. Probably not on this one, though. Stuart, thanks so much. Love to hear from you all the way from down under. Next call.
Hello, Noah. This is Ande from Medellín. I've been meaning to ask if there are any paintings or painters that inspire you as a photographer, or things from the world of painting and illustration that you wish you could do as a photographer. Years ago, I saw an article about photographic languages outside of photography, and one of the examples it listed was the light trails of the motorcycles in Akira, the animated movie. The core of the issue was that photography has taken over the way we see the world, and things do not look real unless they've been photographed and rendered to us through photography. So I wonder if photographers embrace or reject that.
Andy from Medellín. Thanks for this question. It's pretty interesting. Just first part about painters that inspire me. Yeah, of course. I mean, painting, fine art artists who paint on canvas or whatever paint medium, oil, watercolor. To me, that's like real art. Photography is questionable in its art realm. Of course it is, but also a lot of the times it isn't. Well, it always is, whatever, but like real art is painters. And yeah, like I have a whole list of painters that I love. I was writing a list of painters that I like, and I was like, I don't know, it's not always that useful to just list off names and then I feel bad when I forget some. But I will say, I have 3 here. I mean, one, my neighbor, John Tomlinson, probably mostly unknown. He's amazing. His paintings are so fucking cool. And I love him and his art. And I think he's just a super special, fine artist, painter. He draws now. He does charcoal now. There's an artist named Nancy Friedland who I love. I think she used to be a photographer and then she got into painting. She works based on photos, I think, but then her style is just so cool. These are actually people I know. And sometimes I've even gone over to John and I was like, can I get some supplies? And then I get some stuff to try to draw or paint. And then I'm like, I don't really have time to do this. I've got the Hotline show to make. Yeah, I mean, photography is the art that people who can't do real art get into. Peter Stitchberry, just amazing. Actually, we became friends with him because he painted my friend Zach from a photograph that I made. And he's a New Zealand artist. And ever since then, I followed him. I've gone to see his shows. I even saw one of his shows in South Korea because I was there when a show of his was up. So I went and took pictures there. That was awesome. He's just super cool. Artist, painter, drawing. He even drew me once. That's the good shit. Painters. Yeah, that second part. Do things look real unless they've been photographed? And do we embrace that as photographers? And I think this is an interesting idea, concept, because as far as I'm concerned, photographs are not real. They're sort of there's a snapshot of reality, maybe, sometimes. Certainly the proliferation of images has like changed our perception of the world and how we see the world. But more often than not, I'm outside and I see something and then I try to photograph it, and reality is much better than the photograph that I end up making. And I think a lot of the times the stuff that we see, especially online, the really amazing stuff, has been very heavily altered. A lot of people do think that photography is a representation of reality, but that is not true. This is where it gets complicated, but like a lot of photographers make pictures, like they construct them, they make it, and they're making reality better. Of course, this depends on the genre. There's so many genres. Just the amount of work that happens after a photo is taken, again, depending on the context, is anti-reality. So I don't know if we embrace, I'm just trying to think like the core premise here that things do not look real unless they've been photographed. And I don't know, maybe some people think that way, but to me, and maybe it's just because I'm in it and I know how photographs work. Reality is real, this is all a construct. I mean, the amount of lights I have going on here, like none of this is real. Like, do you think I sit down like this? And, nobody would think that. Like, it's highly constructed. At least, the stuff that I respond to is that way too, like worked on. And then you often see it in photos, like it goes too far, it's like, is that real now? And now we've got AI and like, what is real? Nothing's real. All of this should go away. You should just have to like go exist in reality and see what is real. Was that good? I don't know. But Andy from Medellín, amazing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining the Hotline show. Next caller, Julie.
Hi Noah, it's Julie. I was just wondering if you could show us a photograph by someone that you really, really love. Like, if you can put it in your top photographs of all time that you really love and tell us why you like it, and what about it is that you think is good. That would be cool. Alright, bye for now.
Julie, thanks for calling. I appreciate this. Yeah, photographs that I really enjoyed. This is so hard. And I've been thinking about it a lot. This is an old call, and I finally got to this. I pulled out some books. It's hard to say, everyone knows that I'm the biggest Philip-Lorca diCorcia fan on earth. So, almost every one of his photographs are like in my mind whenever I'm taking pictures, especially when I have people in the photographs. There's just something about his style. I mean, his style like created what we know like fashion style, everything. I mean, I think he's responsible for so much in contemporary photography, but the way he lights and the constructing of a photograph. What I like most about his work, and it's hard to find like one, I mean, this one is amazing. It's the cover of the book too, and it's on top of the World Trade Center. So it's amazing for a few different reasons, but the idea of like constructing reality, what looks like it could be documentary, but it's completely fabricated and constructed. He sets up scenes and tableaus. It looks like it could be real, but it's not real. The era in which I came up learning about photography in the early aughts, the zeros, this stuff, which was made in the late 90s, in the 2000s, just has always stuck with me. And there's also something about the compositions, the frames, I think he's mostly medium format, like probably like a 6/7. To me, that frame, just the way that frame is shaped, that is like real photography to me. Just 35 millimeter never felt right to me. Like, I get it for certain things, documentary, street stuff, whatever, even events, sports. That's when you want to shoot a lot, 35, that's great, cool. But when you are going into art photography, something about medium and large format that just like elevates the picture. And there's something about this particular format that just feels like real photography to me. I can't pick one. I was going through so many books. Oh man, like Jean-Francois Lepage. I'll find one in here that like just lives with me. He's kind of wild because he does like sort of alters his film. He scratches his film, but like this one, people might have seen work that I've done that looks similar to this, and it's because this lives in my head. I brought out Larry Sultan. I can't even really flip through this because it's nudity on every page. But then I was like thinking about Struth. I was thinking about the Germans. Gursky, Struth. Who else? We know the Beckers. And then I was looking at this one. I mean, unconscious places. These landscape 4x5 or 8x10 photographs of cityscapes. And to me, this shit is like real photography. Like the composition, it's just someone who showed up and like made a frame. Like they went to a place with intention to investigate it. And these frames just are in my head. And what's funny about this book, I don't know, there's a story. I mean, there's an essay in this book by Richard Sennett. And I was once asked years ago to photograph him. So I went over to his apartment at NYU, downtown. And I went with the writer of the magazine, and they did the interview first. And I had to wait for the interview to end. We only had an hour with him. And after about 50 minutes, the writer was like, okay, I'm done. Richard, we're going to do some pictures. It's like, okay. And I was sort of set up. I had my light up. I was ready. He was just sitting at his dining room table or whatever. And I was shooting like a 5D. And I took like 3 frames, and then he was like, how many pictures are you going to take? I was like, I don't know. He's like, Thomas Struth only takes 1 picture. And I was like, well, we all have our different processes. I take a couple more than that. And I like took another frame or 2, and he's like, you're done. And that was it. I got maybe 5 or 6 frames. I'm not entirely sure. And I just packed up, and that's usually your stuff gets better as you go on with the shoot. So like those first couple of frames, I was like, I don't know. I left with the writer, and she was like, do you think you got it? And I was like, I don't know. I got something. Got a picture. Picture turned out fine. It was a fine portrait. I feel like maybe I could have done better. But that photo ended up running. And then like a couple weeks after that came out, I got a phone call from a magazine, Architect magazine. And the art director, she called me. She's like, I saw that photo of Richard Sennett in ID magazine. It was amazing. I loved it. I love your work. I looked at your website. And I was like, great. She's like, I want to hire you to do a job. Some architects in Minneapolis. She's like, we only have $25,000 for this shoot. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I think I can do it. And I took the shoot, and, that went well. And it became this long ongoing relationship with this magazine that spanned many years. Probably billed hundreds of thousands of dollars working for that editorial client. Most people couldn't believe the budgets I got to shoot. And I would do these things like pretty lightweight, assistant, travel, all booked myself. I'd produce these things. I'd get these huge budgets and just like shoot it for as little as I could and make as much, like save as much from I'd stay at the shittiest hotels. And it was amazing. And that certainly doesn't exist anymore. And in a way, Thomas Struth and Richard Sennett changed my life. That's that. Julie, did I answer your question? I hope so. Thank you so much for everyone who has come. And if you're still here, I appreciate it. Do the stuff. Like, subscribe. Call the hotline. Next week, the Dr. Ike Show. Love to hear from you on that. Until we meet again next week. Maybe.